All right. What is up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Help Me Understand podcast. Per the usual, I'm your host, Coach J.K. McLeod. We're kicking off episode number 283 of Help Me Understand, and it is another Thankful Thursday episode where I take a few minutes just to share some good news, some good things that are happening for folks who have responded to either an Instagram prompt that I post every Thursday, usually by 12 p.m. Central. So if you are following me on Instagram, and if you're not, it's at Coach J.K. McLeod, MCLEOD. You'll typically see a prompt in my stories to share one good thing that's happened for you recently. And then what I do is I just screenshot that and I'll share it on the following week's episode. So the intention of this particular segment each week, and I'm going to keep this going forward for as long as I get at least one response, is to have a reminder out there that regardless of anything else that is happening that may potentially be negative for you, there are also some positives that are happening out there in the world. So let's go ahead and jump into them. I've got 7 to share with you. So thank you for those who responded. One of them actually came from Threads. So I'll start with that one. And I don't have it pulled up on my other screen right now. However, I remember what it was because it was just kind of funny. And let's see, one person had responded. One good thing that happened this week is that basically Chris got told off on the Love is Blind reunion. I will unashamedly, is that the word? Unashamedly admit that I do have a decent idea of what this is referencing. So, hey, if you're a watcher of Love is Blind, then if you know, then you know. Basically, from my point of view, it was a dude that seemed like was trying to body shame the person that he matched up with, and it sounds like that did not turn out well. I did not watch the reunion show. However, I did peep, I think, a clip or two that came across my feed somewhere, whether it was Instagram or Facebook, where it sounded like, folks were not too happy with him. So there you go. I mean, if that brings you joy, I'm not usually a big supporter of someone else getting reamed being the thing that brings you happiness. And also, hey, I respect it. So there you go. All right, here are some other ones. And these were responses that I got through DMs on Instagram. So one person said that a good thing that happened recently is that they got elected to go to Denver this summer for the NEA Representative Assembly. From what I am aware, and something that I'll also remind you of let you know if you have not listened to these episodes previously, is that I don't make specific reference to who exactly submitted their good news, because I honor confidentiality. And also, sometimes I will throw in a couple of details that I believe the person would be fine with me throwing in. So getting elected to go to Denver this summer for the NEA Representative Assembly, I'm pretty sure that that's the National Education Association, just based on what I know about this particular individual. And this is somebody who truly, truly cares and is invested in and committed to supporting children from a mental health perspective. So their selection to be a representative is absolutely fantastic. So congrats, props to you, and thank you for the work that you continue to do. Another person responded that they are going on spring break with like 25Ks. They didn't have 25Ks, but clearly they were super excited to be going on spring break. This is a college student, so enjoy, have fun. If you're driving, drive with intention, and have a safe and enjoyable trip. Enjoy the time off. Another person responded that a good thing that's happening is that they were on vacation in Florida. Yeah, slight jealousy in that, because especially over the past couple of days, although the weather has broken here in central Illinois past couple of days, it was wild. I think a good portion of the country got a cold snap over the past couple of days. So vacation in Florida is absolutely fantastic. Props to you on being able to take a break and hopefully get some good recharge and relaxation time in. All right, got 3 more to share with you. So we've got a total of 7 pieces of good news today. Let's see. Another person responded that they started seeds last Sunday and they are up. It never stops being magical, the sprouting. I reached out to this person just to confirm that what they were talking about was gardening, and it turns out that I was in fact correct. So props to you on tending to the garden and seeing some things come to fruition. So that's fantastic. Over the past few years, just in working with a lot of different types of clients, it's been really interesting how many people are really into gardening. And in fact, some folks who've even pointed out that their ability to garden and be in those positions, whether squatting down, hinging over, carrying things back and forth for a prolonged period of times, they have pointed out that potentially has sometimes been a point of progress that they've noticed as they've been consistent with their exercise. So I thought that was also a nice parallel to draw. So props to you. And I'm glad that you are enjoying the gardening experience. All right, got 2 more. Second to last one, the person said, a last minute trip with my sister's family to London. So lots of aunt time. That is absolutely fantastic. So safe travels to you, not only being able to enjoy some international travel. I know that this person lives in New York City. That's where they reside. So being able to enjoy some international travel and also some family time, especially a little auntie time. And yes, I do pronounce aunt, A-U-N-T. I pronounce it aunt, not aunt. And I don't know, you can fight me on that and I'd let you win. All right, and the last but certainly not least, this one is exercise related. This person said that the good news for them is that they just hit a PR of 235 pounds on sumo deadlifts for 4 reps. That is freaking fantastic. Quite a while back, I did an episode on the difference between relative strength and absolute strength. So relative strength is strength relative to your body weight. Absolute strength is just the number is the number. So, for example, I'm just going to make up a number. So, for example, if somebody were able to deadlift 235 pounds and they weighed 150 pounds, then that is a significant amount of weight. And I'm not saying that that's what this person weighs. I'm giving you a hypothetical, by the way. So, being able to sumo deadlift 235 pounds if somebody weighed 150 pounds is a significantly higher portion of their or percentage above their body weight. Someone like me, who right now I actually weigh underneath that, but generally I can fluctuate just over a certain year period. I can fluctuate in the 230 pound range. Me being able to do 230 pounds is pretty close to just about my body weight. So that individual who can deadlift or squat or whatever above their body weight, especially for multiple reps, that is considered pretty strong. That is considered extremely good and great, really, and impressive from my perspective, relative strength. Absolute strength would just straight up be you lift 235, I lift 235. So just had to nerd out for just a moment on that. All right, and that's all of today's submissions. So if you have good news, something that happens to you along the way that you would like me to share on the Help Me Understand podcast, just so you can contribute to spreading that reminder for yourself and potentially for someone else who may listen to this episode at some point in the future when maybe they just need to tap in and kind of just be reminded that regardless of what they feel like they're hearing and seeing a good amount of the time, that there are still some solid things that are happening out there, then feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. It doesn't have to be on Thursdays. You don't have to wait for the Thursday prompt. I just basically save it for the next following week. Hit me up on Instagram at Coach JK McLeod, MCLEOD, or you can email me, jk@jkmcleod.com. And again, McLeod is spelled MCLEOD. All right, I hope that this episode has provided you a bit of an intentionally positive impact on the rest of your day, or if this is closing out your night, hopefully it closes out your night on a high note and sets you up for a solid day tomorrow. All right, thanks again for listening. As always, I appreciate you for listening to the Help Me Understand podcast. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.